Okay, so we're going to run a few hands here to demonstrate the auto-completion capabilities. Currently, I'm just starting this hand where all four players are about to see the flop. The bet was raised up to 20, even though it's a 1-2 game. One of the players raised it pre, they all called, the pot's 80, and we'll go from here. So the flop comes 2 spades, ace, and let's just remind ourselves of the hands in the simulator. I'm dealing the same cards to all of the players every time just for simplicity, and then I'm mixing up the flop turn river cards. So in this hand, we've got C2 with a straight draw and C8 with ace of spades, deuce of spades, so a nut flush draw in the top pair, and the other two are sort of way behind. And I think in this hand, I actually kind of played out how it might play. These two wind up folding, and let's go. C1's checking, C2 checks. No way C8 is not going to bet, so it bets, whatever, let's see, 50, okay. We have a fold, we have a call, we have a fold, and we go to a turn. The turn brings us straight for C2, and C2 has substantially more chips than C8. So the pot of 180, it's betting, C2 is betting 100. C8 is at least calling here. Calls, pot's 380, now we're going to a river. River is a 9 of spades, giving C8 the best hand. C2 bets into that with it straight. And I believe this player goes all in so that we can demonstrate the situation. So, yeah, so it was a short stack with 8 and change, went all in. Let's just rewind that a little bit. Yeah, 896. The pot was 580 going into it. So the all-in brings the pot up to 1476. The call, 896, should bring it up to around 2400. 2100. Okay. So let's just back that up. Let's see what we're talking about here. All right, of course, because he's already in for 200. Yeah. So let's just back it up again. 200 is in for plus 666, 686. Right, so 686 on that. Story checks out. Okay. And you saw the final. Let's just rewind and pause. The final pot winds up being 2172, the nut flush wins it, and that's the allocation, auto allocation. So we're confirming the action's closed. Then the next is allocate multiple pots or declare winners automatically, okay. And then we automatically go into the next hand, see the button is moved, and the dollar was taken off the 619 remaining amount. Okay, so we move on to the next hand. Let's jump ahead. So we've got some cards getting dealt out here. C2 is now the short stack. C1 is a big stack. Under the gun, C8 is betting 20. Everybody's calling all around here. Confirmed, 4 players for 20 bucks, $80 to see the flop. Flop is similar last time, just to kind of create some situation. This time C2's actually flopped the straight open. Let's just Remind ourselves the hands again. 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs, flop the straight. King of hearts, jack of hearts, nothing happening. Aces, spades, deuce of spades, flush draw. Not much happening here. The seat 1, 10 of diamonds, queen of spades. Okay, let's see how this hand plays out. Just see if he flops it straight. And went all in. 6-18. That'll be 6-5 something, 5 and change. Let's go. Let's just rewind that again. The all in happened. 5.99. Yeah, that's correct. And then makes it 6.79. So it's like 5.99 to call. Player C5 folds. Player C8 calls. Player C1 was going crazy and betting all in. Here's where we can just explain a couple things here. So in this spot, seat 1's already all in for its final 5.99. Pot was 80, so that's 6.79. So that checks out. This player is going to call, making this pot like 12.78. And then this player goes all in. Just obviously this is insane, but just for demonstration purposes, this player goes all in. So what happens? The way we do the pots is anybody that goes all in, that money goes into the pot. Anyone that's already all in or is calling that action, but even with a shorter stack, as we're setting up the pots to calculate the partial pots, we wind up making basically a virtual pot initially, and so the pot will be wind up being like 21,000 and change or whatever, because it's this big stack multiplied by 3. But then you'll see we quickly reconcile that once the action is confirmed. Okay, so there it is. So that's this guy's big stack multiplied by 3. So it's as if, yes, all 3 of them are all in now. But then the next play, once we confirm this action, we reconcile all this, and so we wind up basically saying, well, wait a minute, this person's short, this person's short, this person gets a rebate, and we go from there. So you'll see it break out. Okay, so there it is. So the total pot is just over 10K. 1877 is available for this guy, which, if you recall, just like going into this hand, he had 618, so that's essentially correct. 618 by 3, basically. And then the other two can battle for this 3106, and the 5020, that's a credit back to this guy. So that's not really the only player that is entitled to this pot is this player, so it comes back to that player. Regardless of hand outcome, this guy's going to wind up with at least 50-20. And regardless of hand outcome, this guy's going to wind up with at most 1877. So the turn brings a nut flush. Everyone's all in, so we just have to continue action just to keep the flow going. The ace of clubs is kind of irrelevant, and we wind up here. We're about to say yes, a multi-pot showdown. Declare winners automatically. Okay, and now we're about to allocate the pot. So this guy winds up getting felted because the nut flush comes in. This guy winds up with this pot plus this pot for, what's that look like? Like 49.83. And this guy will have 50-20 coming back to him. Okay, so there you go. Checks out. Story checks out. This is less the $2 because of the big blind now. So we'll update this guy's stack, bring him back in the game. And we'll move on to the next hand. Let's see if we just fast forward till we get some cards going here. Here we go. Again, let's remind ourselves, we're always dealing the same hands for simplicity. Ace of spades, deuce of spades in seat 8, 10 of diamonds, queen of spades in seat 1, 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs in seat 2, and king of hearts, jack of hearts in seat 5. So let's see what happens in this hand. Actions open, I think we're just strategizing on what to bring out with the flop, turn, and river. So setting the hand up, so we're just waiting to decide what's going on. Let's bring it forward a little bit. Okay, about to make some action happen. Bet 10, C1, another gun, call, call. So they're all calling, $40 going to the flop, makes sense. Okay, interesting flop. Now we've got top pair and nut flush draw over here. Inside straight draw here, inside straight draw here, with a spade blocker even. But point is, we're setting up for an interesting hand, and let's go. C5 checks, C8 is checking. Oh, strange. And middle pair with the straight draw, spade blocker is betting 100. Brings the pot to 140. There's a call to 240 and a call. What's going on? What do we do? What does C8 do? Massive hit. Just call. So 340 going into the turn. Turn is magic. So again, just reminding ourselves, this guy now has a Broadway straight. This guy has top pair and the nut flush draw, and this guy has now middle two pair. So the Broadway bets, then the spade draw. Looks like the spade draw went all in and there was a call. We went a little fast there, so let's back that up. He bets 200. Yeah, okay, so this guy bet 200. And then C8 goes all in. Okay. And C1 calls. So goes all in for $48.73. This guy has like another $30 more than that. It looks like $37 more than that. Not much more than that. So that's 200. Goes all in for $48.73. Calls, and then this guy will call, and we'll see how the pots shake out again. Okay, so everybody's called. Just gonna let this go. Okay, so this guy was the short stack. He has this to go after. These two guys essentially put, $4,000 in each, and this is what they're going after. And that's how things break out there. Should be coming. Here it is. So the river was 2 of spades, giving this guy the nut flush and essentially taking it all down. So essentially felted, and this guy should have $11,117. Closing the action, allocating the pots, and we've moved on to the next hand. So let's pause there. 11,116, less is small blind, that's why. It's not 117, it's 116. Felted, and 35. Okay, so let's just skip ahead to the next hand where players, I think I'm updating some stacks. Okay, so we've re-updated some stacks, and now we are going to do another hand. Let's go ahead until I get to the cards dealt. We know the cards are being dealt. I think this one gets a little bit more complicated on multi-way all-in. I think we get into a couple of multi-way all-ins where a short stack wins and then a middle stack wins or something like that. Okay, $10 each pre-flop, everyone calls. Okay, another action flop. Let's again remind ourselves who's got what. There's an ace of spades and a deuce of spades in seat 8. So again, he's flopping monstrously. Interesting bottom pair, spade blocker, straight draw here with the 10 of diamonds, queen of spades. 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs essentially has nothing but a miracle backdoor club draw. And a king of hearts, jack of hearts has middle pair and inside straight draw. So this will set up nicely. So we have seat 8 with the monster making a bet of 30. Okay. And seat 1 is most definitely at least calling. Folding, yes. And seat 5 is called, and we've confirmed and we're going to flop. So 90 plus 40 is 130, so that story checks out there. And now we have a queen bringing Broadway to seat 5. The nut flush is still betting. 2 pair is actually betting more. It's bringing it up to 300. Okay. Broadway is going to go all in. So let's just back this up. So here's where we have escalating pots. Yeah, so 1,600 facing a bet of 300. So he's going to shove all in. And, we'll be looking at a breakdown of like about a $5,000 pot for this short stack to be going after. And then the rest will get split up. So let's see how we break it out. Goes all in. Calls, and he calls. So just to confirm. So there you go. So we still only have the one pot because this guy went all in, but these two just called. There was no reshoving going on, so we're all battling for this one pot of 49.60. River card should be coming. There it is. Okay, so let's take some stock here. We've got Broadway that wins, so it's going to take this pot. But then we've got a better 2 pair that has made out on the river for seat 8, which will then, beat this guy. So we'll see what happens. Might be check check. So we go check check, and the winner is actually seat 8 with the top and bottom pair. Oh, sorry, that's not true. Let's back that up. C5 at Broadway. So yeah, right. So he's calling, right. So C5 wins with Broadway. So the 2 pair was inconsequential. I think I intended for there to be some all-in action on this river here, and I didn't do it. But that would have set up nicely to show a second pot with different hands that are beating each other out. That would have been very good. I don't know why I didn't do that. But this is a good example anyway. So, okay, so we'll go on to another hand. Perhaps this is the end. Oh, we still have a little bit more to go. So let's see what we do here. Okay. We have another hand coming. Again, same hand being dealt. Ace of clubs. Ace of spades, deuce of spades, queen of spades, 10 of clubs. Okay, let's just do this formally again so we remind ourselves. Ace of spades, deuce of spades, 10 of diamonds, queen of spades, 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs, king of hearts, jack of hearts. And let's see what we're doing pre-flop here on this hand. So the king jack opens up. We get a call and a call and a fold. So it's 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs folds. And that is 3 by 20 is 60 plus the big blind, 62. Okay, again, interesting flop. So top pair, top and middle pair. Let's back up a little bit. Yeah, top middle pair. Middle pair straight draw, nut flush draw, Broadway draw. Okay, so let's see where we go. C1 is betting 200. It's pocket 262. He used the small stack in C1. Calling and calling. So that gets us 662, which checks out. Now we have a Broadway draw. Broadway draw, 2 pair. Okay, Broadway, sorry, Broadway straight, no draw. Broadway straight, a pair and nut flush draw and 2 pair. C5, which is the middle stacks, betting 450. Which is straight. Trying to decide what I want to set up here for demo purposes. Bets all in for more, and then there's an instant call, and we allocate the pots. So let's just back this up a little bit. We've got 92.47. Okay, that's the big stack going all in. Going all in over the top, so 42.90. Call, yeah, okay. So you'll see the virtual pot is growing as we get the 9,000 here and the 9,000, the virtual 9,000 here. This guy was short stacked by 1,000, right? So you'll see this pot get broken out. and this guy will be eligible for like, $3 grand and change. Okay, so it was, if I just backed it up a little bit, you'll see there you go. So that's the 3 by the 9,000. And then as the total, but it's a virtual total, we move forward to the next chunk where we confirm it. It breaks out now to saying, okay, there's actually only 15,700 in the pot. Like I said before, the 3,900 is available for this guy to possibly win, but only if a queen or a 10 comes. Queen or a 10 comes. Then there's another 7,000 available that can be fought over these guys, because this guy had like 4,900 or something like that. This is actually, while it's a pot, this is the only player that can win it, so it's essentially a rebate to that player. Okay, so the magic comes on the river, gives this guy a full house, so he wins. So the result should be that his stack is this 3908 because he wins, and that's all he's eligible to win. But then at the next tier, which is this pot, so regardless, this player is getting back to 4507, but this 7300 is up for grabs, and we have a straight, and we just have 2 pair aces and tens with a deuce. So this guy will wind up with 7316, and this guy will wind up with 4507. Okay, there it is. So if there's the pot for this guy, there's the remainder for this guy, and there's the middle pot that was won by this guy. Okay, and that's clearly the most complex scenario where you have multi-way all-ins, and then you have like sort of tiered winners, right? So I think that should be pretty convincing that this auto completion is pretty sophisticated, works pretty smoothly, and should help you to transition between hands very seamlessly. It also demonstrates that the system automatically detects and determines which hands are beating which.